A major update on AEW Collision, CM Punk's first feud upon his return to AEW on this Collision show, the upcoming announcements from Warner Bros. Discovery at the upcoming Warner Bros. Discovery upfronts next week, plus rumours of the $1 billion TV announcement rumours, details on that and much more in this big AEW news update. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. And let's start off talking, of course, about AEW Collision. The rumors today regarding Warner Bros. Discovery, $1 billion, a TV announcement, an updated TV deal. Let's get straight into it because Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has provided a huge update on AEW, Warner Bros. Discovery, Collision, CM Punk, and much more. Now, of course, AEW Collision is set to debut in mid-June. It will feature a huge name in none other than former two-time AEW World Champion CM Punk, but that's hardly it. Fightful Select have been told there are already major plans and a marquee match tentatively scheduled for the Collision show, with CM Punk pushing for a huge early match early on in his AEW return. There has been a Chris Jericho program discussed, but Punk has pushed for another return opponent out of the gate. Now, they haven't actually said who that person is just yet. We'll get into that a bit later on. You can let me know in the comment section below. Who would you like to see CM Punk face off against in his first television feud upon returning to AEW? Is it Chris Jericho or is it someone else? Who would you like to see Punk face off against? Now, when it comes to AEW Rampage, Fightful have been told it will become more resembling of what WWE Heat once was. They're also told that many independent pro wrestling talent will be more likely to get opportunities on Ring of Honor programming. So Ring of Honor certainly is going to turn into more AEW Dark, and maybe Rampage turns into not really Dark Elevation, but again, more of those sort of Heat, those kind of shows that are kind of not so much in the WWE days, but certainly in the early WWF days. If you recall when Sunday Night Heat used to be on a Sunday, then Raw used to be on a Monday, but it was on USA and it featured some storylines and some loose threads to WWE programming. Now, the last that Fightful heard, AEW content is set to exclusively be hosted on Warner Bros. Discovery platforms, with Ring of Honor seemingly not part of that deal. However, Fightful have not necessarily heard that an entirely new deal has been reached for AEW programming as of right now. So according to Fightful, whilst there has been an agreement reached whereby all of AEW programming is going to become exclusive to Warner Bros. Discovery, they can't confirm as of right now that a brand new television deal has been reached. We'll get into that $1 billion number in just a second. Now, those that Fightful have spoken to say that Collision on Warner Bros. Discovery Primetime is part of a new cash infusion for AEW and an extension of the partnerships the two sides have held. Warner Bros. Discovery sources have long spoken glowingly about the relationship with All Elite Wrestling, and the deal is planned for an announcement around the time of the Warner Bros. Discovery upfronts, which of course take place next week. That's when it is expected that we're going to get this announcement about AEW Collision. As far as an announcement regarding if CM Punk is going to be part of that whole announcement, that has been speculated. Some feel that not only will Warner Brothers Discovery announce, hey, AEW Collision is going to be 8 to 10 p.m. every Saturday live on TNT, but it's also going to feature the return of CM Punk. They're not sure how extensive that announcement is going to be. Now, as I mentioned, we covered this earlier today. There's been a lot of discussion and rumors both online and within Warner Bros. Discovery and AEW about this deal being a $1 billion deal over a few years, and that could be true if all of their deals are extrapolated. However, Warner Bros. Discovery sources had indicated to Fightful that Collision was the planned upcoming announcement, as opposed to an all-encompassing deal that included Dynamite. So if you're expecting this $1 billion announcement next week, most likely it's not going to come at the upfronts. The upfronts most likely are just going to feature, hey, AEW Collision is coming. It's going to be a Saturday show. It's going to feature CM Punk. But as far as an announcement saying AEW sticking around on Warner Bros. Discovery stations until 2028 or etc. and a $1 billion deal, that doesn't look like that's going to be confirmed next week. Again, as of right now, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery sources have not confirmed a dollar figure either. So that at the moment, like we spoke about earlier today, is just a rumor and is just a prediction from some. So again, that's still very much in the air, but it is expected that if this new deal is announced at some point, and when it most likely is, it's going to be for a higher figure. Is it going to be $1 billion? We'll have to wait and see. The long and short of it, though, is what Fightful have been able to confirm is a good deal for AEW. An impending announcement of Collision and CM Punk's planned return. Fightful have not been able to confirm the rumored dollar figure, as I mentioned, on this all-encompassing deal. There were rumors last month, and it stemmed from a former USA Network executive that WWE and Warner Bros. Discovery had talks, but representatives from both sides hadn't heard of that whatsoever and quickly shot it down. So that was really a rumor that came from one person on a podcast, but there was really no substance to it. So WWE and Warner Bros. Discovery never had talks. I don't think WBD were interested in bringing WWE to their networks, or certainly it never got out of the stage of, hey, could we bring in WWE? They've got a very good deal with AEW, and WWE, they, at the moment, whilst they are open to negotiating new networks, media rights negotiations this year as part of their TV deals expiring, they're still happy with NBC Universal, and they could be staying on Fox or going to somewhere like NBC for SmackDown too. Now, there are already several Saturday dates set to film AEW Collision, but Fightful have been told that when necessary, the company may book a venue 2 straight days and film on Thursdays. Now, Fightful haven't heard if this is anything to do with keeping Punk and the Elite apart, but sources indicated that both sets of talent would occasionally appear on Dynamite and Collision when it's called for. So the idea of CM Punk and the Elite not being in the same building at the same time isn't exactly going to happen, but they are going to be kept as far apart as possible. But look, there are going to be times when they're both going to be on the show, whether it be AEW Dynamite, whether it be AEW Collision, whether it be a pay-per-view. They're both going to be there. It's a case of keeping them as separate as possible. Now, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, there isn't expected to be a hard brand split associated with AEW Collision, but Fightful were told that there are plans to have a fresh roster approach with some significant names. There are several AEW talent who have been sidelined and believe they'll actually appear on the show, but haven't outright been told that they are going to appear on Collision. Obviously, this story is going to come into focus a lot more over the next week with more facts than rumors, because we are going to have the upfronts. And again, it is expected that the upfronts will feature the Collision announcement, but not necessarily the television announcement or a new television deal or anything like that. Now, Dave Meltzer has also opened up on this quite a bit too, saying via F4W Online, a new television rights deal between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery will be announced as part of the latter's upfront next Wednesday in New York City. Both the deal and AEW Collision will be announced at the Wednesday, May 17th event at the theater in Madison Square Garden. So Meltzer is suggesting that this new TV rights deal is going to be announced next week, whereas Sean Ross Sapp is saying maybe expect Collision and a cash infusion, but as far as a brand new television deal, maybe that won't get announced next week. So it depends who you believe. Look, when it comes to Dave Meltzer, of course, with AEW, very close sources, and he thinks that a new TV deal is going to be announced. Sean Ross Sapp is saying, well, don't be surprised if it's not announced. It could just be AEW Collision. It could just be the return of CM Punk. But either way, I think many people are suggesting this is very positive news for AEW. As far as the $1 billion number, that's a prediction. That's a rumor, and that hasn't been confirmed by any of the reporting via Sean Ross Sapp, via Dave Meltzer, via others today. As of right now, that's just a social media rumor. But certainly the big news is that I expect a lot more about this over the next 7 days. Expect a lot more about this when it comes to the Warner Media Discovery upfronts next week. Expect the return of CM Punk, or the announcement of the return, rather, of CM Punk making his return at AEW Collision on June 17th at the United Center in Chicago. So what are your thoughts on all of this news? What are your thoughts on the announcement coming next week? What are your thoughts on CM Punk, who he could be facing when he returns to AEW? What are your thoughts on the latest when it comes to Punk and the Elite possibly being in the same building at the same time? Does this pave the way for them possibly working with each other next in the future in AEW? And if you had to put a monetary number on it, maybe not £1 billion, maybe more $1 billion, maybe more than $1 billion, how much do you think it would be for a brand new AEW television deal with Warner Bros. Discovery? Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your theories in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. Remember, you can join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.